This is Channels Television's breaking news.
This just in. From Dallas, Texas, I am your news host, Joey Shake and Bake 72. The Dallas Cowboys practiced in California training camp where they are trying to get better and trying to have a dynasty team that they once had and never will have. But I will say this. Dak Prescott has shown that he is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones plans on paying him that big money. But unfortunately in training camp, breaking news today, Dak Prescott has not thrown a touchdown pass during training camp. Now I'm trying to figure out why they even had this guy on the team in the first place. And I have the answer for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's because Dak Prescott sucks giant. What's going on, guys? Your boy Joey 672 coming to you guys a video right now. So training camp for the Birds today, open practice, and over 40,000 fans showed up. I watched a ton of video on the fans. They did some Foles chants. They went crazy in the parking lots. And wow, after this team winning a Super Bowl, man, it's gotten even bigger. These fans have this team even more behind their back. And I've been to one of these, and it's great, but not with this many people, especially on a Sunday, everybody off work. So I expected probably a lot of people here, hence why there were tickets. So if you guys didn't find out today, I've already made a video on it, but if you guys didn't find out today, the Eagles have signed Corey Graham to a one-year deal today, this morning, and we have our safety back. It's been a good ride with Corey Graham. Okay, and, you know, we all know that he's a nice fill-in, so Malcolm Jenkins can move all over the field. The safety coach and the whole front office plus the whole coaching staff probably thinks that these safeties that we have right now, especially depth-wise, not very good, not really showing too much. I think preseason's going to be the way to go with the rest of these guys. Jeremy Reeves, not really doing too much, kind of really not grasping the the technicalities of these of this defense and the terminology of this defense, making too many mistakes. Malcolm Jenkins helping him along the way. Trey Sullivan is another guy, but, you know, has to be more consistent. I guess they don't really think when it's game time, they really don't trust these guys. So safety Corey Graham gets signed today, one-year deal. Don't know the incentives, don't really know how much they're paying him. It's going to be a veteran minimum, I would expect. Corey Graham was interviewed, said that he was very happy. He was actually going to retire this year, but his wife kind of got him into not retiring and want to play for this team that he really likes, the Philadelphia Eagles, a lot, and the fans and the culture that have built with all these players. So can't wait to see Corey Graham on the field again. More breaking news today. The Eagles have extended Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman's contracts through the 2022 season. This is exciting. Exciting because, wow. I didn't know when their contracts are up. I don't know how a coaching contract goes when they first get hired. I don't know where all that happens, but we have Howie Roseman for another few years. We have Doug Peterson, hopefully the rest for a long time coming. And Howie, we need him in the building. Joe Douglas, we need him in the building because we almost lost Joe Douglas to the Houston Texans this past year. But the Eagles blocked it, so they couldn't get him either. So this is great. And Howie has turned this whole thing around after when Chip Kelly threw him to the side of the building for the whole year, and he wasn't doing much he pretty much had no job, had no say, and came in and totally turn this whole entire team around within 2 fucking years is amazing. So Dougie P gets another few years as the head coach of the Eagles, and hopefully longer than that, because I've actually grown to love Doug as a person and the way he coaches these guys, especially listening to Sounds of the Week for games and all that stuff. So that's what I got to say about that. I'm really happy about that, so I hope you guys are too. A guy I really haven't talked about was Nate Sudfeld, okay? Nate Sudfeld has been the only problem Nate Sudfeld has really had during camp is really being consistent. He can extend plays. He can throw the ball. He could do everything. He could scramble. He could do everything. Now he had a really good pass today right to Aguilar, deep pass to Aguilar between Malcolm Jenkins and Ronnie McLeod today. Very good pass on the dime. The only problem Nate Sudfeld has really had is being consistent, being a consistent quarterback. Because you could, make a few nice passes, but he always throws that bad pass, and that's what he's got to work on. He threw a interception to Jordan Hicks today, but he's going to get so much reps in preseason. We're going to be sick of looking at him. That's how many reps he's going to get. So I'm happy to say that Nate Sudfeld, when he was a Redskin, and you look at his tape burner Redskin, didn't look good. But when he had John DeFilippo at the time, and when he had Frank Reich right by his side, mechanics looked totally different. Watch that Cowboys game, the last game of the year last year. Total difference from when he was on the Redskins. And I'm very high on him being the third string or being the backup for Carson Wentz. Very high on him. So I hope he gets better. Now, Donnell Pumphrey, I'm hearing things that he can actually make this roster. A guy that I really was very excited for. Like I said, had that pedigree coming from San Diego State, and of the, having that all-purpose yard history record from San Diego State, beating Marshall Faulk's all-purpose yard record, which is amazing, but coming really not really flashing, not really doing too much. But today he actually dropped a wide open pass in the end zone today, and was really embarrassing from what I heard. And apparently, I guess Pumphrey actually had a few good runs today, surprisingly, and he tweeted out today that, the sun was in his eye. So he tweeted that out, that he couldn't see the ball at all whatsoever, and he totally dropped it. That's why he dropped it. But I understand that, because I've been through a situation like that where I played football, so I know that shit sucks. But, got to make these catches one way or another. I know it's kind of, being an asshole for saying that, but he could make this roster. With Matt Jones being hurt right now and Jamal Adams really not getting as much, Josh Adams, sorry, I keep saying Jamal Adams. Josh Adams keeps getting the reps, which I'll talk about him later as well. He could make this roster, but he's got to be valuable at some point, special teams or something, because Darren Sproles is last year. So got to see more Donald Pumphrey where he goes, but kind of crazy to see if he would actually make this roster. Isaac Seumalo, another fucking waste of shit. Isaac Seumalo snapped another damn ball over the quarterback's head today. Just get rid of him, trade him, do something with him. I don't even care what you do with him. I really don't. Same as Chance Warmack too, both of them. Just go. We don't even need the depth. Just go. Go. Okay? Seumalo's he can't play center. He can't play left guard. I mean, I don't know. What a waste of a draft pick on this kid from Oregon State. What a waste. But fuck it. Just get some value. We traded Matt Tobin for a fucking 5th-round pick. We got a 5th-round pick from the Seahawks from trading Matt Tobin. We could definitely get something for him because he's played more than Matt Tobin. So hopefully get a trade there, and we'll see about that. Carson Wentz, 7-on-7s today. No 11-on-11s. He had a very consistent day in front of the fans today. I think threw a touchdown pass, but very consistent. He threw very good passes today. So there's nothing wrong with Carson Wentz. Throwing good passes. Not another light day. So 3 days straight, very light day for Carson Wentz today. So Doug Pearson was already kind of talking about today that Carson Wentz might not even play preseason. Might not even play preseason whatsoever. And you know what? Some fans are like, oh, and then some fans are like, yeah, you know what? He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to be doing all that. When the game time comes, let him go. If they're saving him through preseason, you know for a fact he's starting week 1. You know for a fact that's happening. I know that's happening. You should know that's happening. Carson Wentz is going to play week 1. And if he doesn't play the preseason, it is what it is. If he plays a series, I won't care. If he plays 4 plays, I won't care. But I would like to see him in at least 1 series out of 1 game this year, and that's it. He can sit out the rest of the time. Nick Foles didn't practice today. No one really knows why. I think he had a veteran rest day along with Richard Rodgers and Marcus Wheaton, so those guys didn't practice today. Yeah, don't know what's going on with that, but there was no injuries or anything, so we're all good with that. Sidney Jones started first team defense nickel corner spot today. So that's, you know, between him, Devontae Ballsby, and Jalen Mills. So pretty much Sidney Jones looks like the favorite to be the nickel corner. They put him on the outside for one day. Don't know what happened with that. I'm kind of confused. I think they like Jalen Mills on the outside. They only had Jalen Mills in the nickel one day. They had Devontae Ballsby in the nickel for 3 days. They had Sidney Jones in the nickel for 5 days. So what are we doing? Is Sidney, is that his spot? Is he not supposed to be an outside corner? Are they making a mistake? I'm going to trust the judgment of the coaches, but I'm kind of surprised at this. There's too many corners now. You don't either Ballsby's not going to play, or I don't know what's happening. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out this Thursday how it looks. You know, what's the starting D? Kind of give you a little familiarity with how it's going to look when you see him on the field. So we'll see about what's going on with Sidney Jones and the rest of these cornerbacks. Nate Gerry started first team at the will linebacker spot today, and don't know really what he did today, but he started, and, you know, so far his camp has been pretty damn good. Along with Kamu, Gruger, Hill, that had a pick today and had a sack on Sudfeld today, and made some consistent tackles in the backfield and was kind of being a force to be reckoned with, we could say. Cameron Gruger-Hill has been very consistent, and we've only known him to be a special teamer, but it's looking pretty good for Kamu out there. So more competition, the better, guys. We can't complain about it. More competition, the better. The better it's going to be, and we'll see what happens when the time comes. Thursday. Thursday's a day, so we got to be ready for it. I want to go to Josh Adams now. Hasn't really got in so much this camp. He's gotten reps, but not as much as he's wanted. But had some good runs today, up the middle, to the side, east and west, whatever the hell it is. He ran some good. He ran them with the ball very well today. Okay, so whenever he gets his hands on the ball, he's showing the coaches he could run one step cutter. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I just want to see him do well. Okay, a lot of guaranteed money going his way, so we got to see him do well, see what he's all about. Can't wait to see him in preseason, what he could do. So I'm excited. You know, Matt Jones, I don't know. He's hurt still, so I don't know. He's out. Donnell Pumphrey, he had some good runs today, so he's making his last fucking push to go do something. And then he's got to show up in preseason. These running backs, these other running backs that we know that are on the roster yet, we need to know that they have to earn their shit when they hit that field on Thursday. Not even just Thursday, but the rest of the preseason. They have to earn it, at least for the first 3 preseason games. Donnell Pumphrey, Josh Adams, they got to do their thing, and they got to run hard, and they got to show what they could do. Clement did this last preseason. Clement showed. I was like, damn, kid could run. Kid could really run. And he always made the first guy miss last preseason. Clement was all over the place. And then throughout the whole year, looks like a totally different player now. So we got to see those guys do that coming to the preseason game. So Billy Brown ended up mossing Avonte Maddox, a corner from Pittsburgh that we drafted this past year. Avonte Maddox, I don't think he's going to make this team. Might be practice squad, but fast corner, undersized. I just heard really bad things this whole camp on Avonte Maddox. Hasn't really done too well, as promised. That he would, you know, at least do something to at least enhance his cornerback room a little bit, but unfortunately nothing really happening with Avonte Maddox. Other than that, guys, that is the first training camp of the open practice that happened today at Lincoln Financial Field, and I wish I was there, and hopefully if you guys are going to the next one, awesome. I can't make it. Unfortunately, work just sucks. But should be watching the preseason game Thursday. Going to live stream that and get some stuff to you. So let me know what you guys think about this whole day today. Not mostly anything, but this corner spot is intriguing. Really is, because you really don't know what's going to happen, especially at that nickel spot. Ballsby and Sidney Jones doing very well. But they only had Sidney Jones on the outside for one day. Ballsby doesn't play on the outside. Okay, you got Darby and you got Jalen Mills that have not made mistakes during this camp. They've made mistakes, but not like they have been. You know, understand? Like, they have been very consistent on their coverage, and that's great. Darby's got a contract year. Jalen Mills, he's got something to prove. You know, coming out as the 7th round pick. So, you know, it's more of a chip on your shoulder. It's more of, you don't even have to say it's a chip on their shoulder. That's just how they are, and that's how they practice, and that's how they work every day. And Darby knows how much it hurt to miss half the damn season or more than that. So I can't wait to see these guys in action. So that's the news today, guys. So thank you very much for the support I've been getting. Thank you so much for commenting and being so, I try to get to everybody as soon as possible. But thank you so much, guys. I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly Eagles Fly.